Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. What a mouthful that is, huh? My name is Patty Bryan, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Reverend Roger Grugel, our affiliated community minister, is also with us today. We are so glad that you've joined us, whether you're here in the sanctuary, watching us on Facebook Live, or sitting out in the pavilion. Please know everyone's welcome here. In fact, that's how our mission statement begins. We are a welcoming congregation, freely seeking intellectual and spiritual growth. We strive to create a larger community of peace, justice, and love. Here, as people of all ages, we learn and grow together and try to live our values out in public. If you're new to the congregation, we're especially grateful that you've found us. Our hope is to make you feel welcome and to help you find ways to connect. And now, let's take a deep breath and settle ourselves into this time of worship with the morning's prelude.
Come into this circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come, and you shall know peace and joy. Our chalice lighting.
Let's see if I can do this. Classy manner.
All right. Join me in our chalice lighting response. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. Let us rise as you are willing and able and join in singing our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. It's number 361 in your hymnal, but I believe the words will be up on both screens.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. And to rejoice and come in. And to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in.
It is good to be with you today. It has been far too long since I've seen your smiling faces. So, my question for you today, the meaning of life or the life of meaning. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, I want to ask you, in one or two words, what is your meaning of life? And we're going to literally ask you, right? So please, you could spend your life telling me the meaning of your life. Don't do that. Instead, tell me in like one or two words what pops into your mind. And raise your hand, and Patty will, if we can't hear you, we'll get a mic to you. Oh, okay, let's start over here, and I'll move this way.
Alrighty.
Please stand if you are able to say it.
Gia?
Kindness.
Kindness?
According to the Hitchhiker's Guide in the Galaxy, 43.
Okay.
Getting up and getting out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
Connections. Growth and commitment.
Okay. I think there's one in the back, Patty, in the far back.
Oh, I'm sure.
Family, community.
Thank you.
We'll get to everybody.
Make a difference.
Okay, somebody over here? All right. Oh, all right. Oh, the whole back row wants to go.
love and love.
Happiness.
Anybody else?
That's very appropriate.
Harmony.
Okay, now, hands up over on this side. I know you got tired keeping your arm.
Social justice.
Anybody else? Oh, boy. I am getting my steps in. Right.
Giving and receiving love.
Gratitude.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
Unconditional love.
Okay.
Grandchildren.
Okay.
Anybody
Yeah.
else? Down.
I think the person came in through the the door there.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not going to say everything because I forgot them all because I was listening to you all. But one of the main ones that came up was curiosity.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you all for sharing. That was very helpful to me and very useful. So, our centering hymn is number 123, Spirit of Life in the Gray Hymnal. And my understanding that will be also up on the screen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón, cántale tu compasión. Sopla adorar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
There. We join together amidst the tumult of our individual lives, brought together by desire for community, to share in a moment of joy or sorrow, laughter or pain. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you wish to share with us, please raise your hand and we'll take the microphone to you. Okay, good.
Hello, my name's George. I have both a joy and a sorrow. I'll start with the sorrow. If you've all lived here for very long and you are a reader of the Naples Daily News, you might understand that the obituary in the paper today for Eric Statz, a longtime writer for the Naples Daily News. So that's my sorrow. The joy is that through his latter years, and he was still a young man, he was still in his late 50s, he took on his writing toward the environmental end of things. I think he became a close friend with one of our members, Brad Cornell, who I'd hoped was here today, but I don't see him. But anyway, I want to mention that because that's one of our cherished things, the environment. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, and now meditation.
So let us take a time out from the busyness of our lives. May we focus on this moment in this space and in this time. If you like, you may close your eyes. If you want to keep them open, that's fine too. And just maybe focus on your breath, on your breathing. Feel the breath of life come into you. Hold it, let it go. Do that. Let's do that 5 times. And if anything comes into your mind in that time, that's okay. You just acknowledge it and let it go. But focus on your breathing so that we have you fully present for the rest of this service. So breathe in and breathe out, let's say 5 times. Let us return to our service and the next part of our service.
responsive reading this morning is from Walden by Henry David Thoreau. In it, he explains why he went to live in the woods. I'll read the words in Roman type, and you respond by reading the words in italics. All set? Why should we live in such a hurry and waste of life? I wish to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life. I wish to learn what life has to teach, and not when it comes to die. I do not wish to live what is not life. Living is so dear. I wish to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. I want to cut a broad swath, to drive life into a corner, and reduce it to its lowest terms. If it proves to be mean, then get the whole and genuine meanness of it and publish its meanness to the world. Or if it is sublime, to know it by experience and to be able to give it true account.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang it on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Good morning again. I grew up on a small farm in northwestern Minnesota. Our family farmed to make a living, but also as a way of life. Our lives were linked to the changing seasons, and we were close to the creative and transforming powers of nature. I remember cloudless summer nights lying on the grass, watching the vast array of stars, and being filled with awe and amazement, realizing that I was just a tiny part of this huge creative process, so vast that it could have crushed me with the sheer weight of its power and its majesty, and yet was so tender and inclusive, I didn't feel alone, even though no one was with me. The farm has this image as a pastoral, bucolic, peaceful place where everything lives in harmony. However, an actual farm is quite different. Much like a play, everything on a farm has a role, and everything must fulfill its role to keep life going. On a farm, there is no dichotomy between life and death, and in fact, life and death are close to each other. The life of the animal you fed in the morning so it could live might be taken in the evening so you could live. Seeds are planted, grow into plants, bear fruit, and die. Grass is fed to the animals, and their remains are eventually returned to the soil. Then the process starts all over again. Life is not taken maliciously or gratuitously, but life is taken so life can be sustained. Death is expected, but new life always follows death. What appears to be the end of life is only the process of transformation. Because of this cycle of life, every day is filled with feelings of joy and sadness, but also grief and loss. But most importantly, life on the farm is filled with awe, amazement, and wonder. I remember one summer morning, my dad asked me to help him find a newborn calf that had been separated from its mother. We walked through the pasture and down to the creek that flowed through our farm. We followed the banks of the creek because we thought the cow would try to hide her calf in the brush and woods near the bank. As we searched for the calf, I remember looking at the cloudless azure sky stretching endlessly beyond the horizon and feeling the warm sun on my back. I remember the gurgle of the slow-moving water in the creek and the whistle of the red-winged blackbird perching on the nearby cattail. As I moved, I remember my lungs breathing the crystal clear air and feeling the pulse of my blood as it coursed through my body, and being filled with an absolute, unbelievable love for life. Coming out of the brush, I approached the end of the creek. My joy turned to disappointment because we hadn't found this calf. I crossed over the creek to meet my dad, and then, however, for some reason, I looked down and I saw, in a small oval depression on the bank of the creek, perhaps only a foot away from me, the face of a white and camel-haired calf. He was looking up at me with deep-set black, glassy eyes, surrounded by long lashes. He showed no fear. In fact, his eyes seemed to be saying, "Hello, I've been waiting for you." My disappointment changed to excitement as I reached down with my hand and gently caressed his head and ears, while his rough tongue licked my hand. I helped him to stand, and the three of us walked back to the barn. I was filled with joy and wonder, realizing that we were part of this one gigantic process. There was no hierarchy among us. We were not three individual lives, but when combined with the gentle breeze, the green grass, the singing blackbird, and the blue sky, we were part of this organic, dynamic, and ever-changing process called life. We live in a world seemingly obsessed with happiness. There's a recent poll that was made of Americans, and they asked in this poll what was the meaning of their life or what was their life objective. And it was overwhelmingly happiness. And we had a few people who mentioned happiness today. It's very common and it resonates well with people. Throughout history, happiness has been the end goal of most people's lives. Before the ancient Greek philosophers, happiness was something bestowed by the gods. It was a gift from the gods. The English word happiness comes from the Icelandic word hap, or luck. So happiness and luck seem to be connected. So it was Socrates who first suggested that we could control happiness, that we could seek it out and obtain it, rather than being passive recipients of happiness from the gods. In modern times, the positive thinking movement, abundance theory, prosperity preaching, and other self-help genres see happiness as our primary objective, something we can achieve if we just try hard enough. So, here's the irony. So in a world fixated on happiness, we're not really that happy. According to the World Health Association, there are 280 million people with depression in the world. And in the United States alone, there are 40 million people with anxiety. So it's kind of ironic that what we strive for, not all of us can find. What's also ironic is that we are so bad at knowing what makes us happy. We're really bad at it, according to the experts. The phenomenon of misjudging what will make us happy is called affective forecasting. Just like the weather, we're not very good at it, forecasting the weather. And what it means is we miswant a lot of things that we have been conditioned to believe will make us happier than they actually, in fact, do. For example, how often have you felt a certain kind of deflation after a big purchase? I was going to be happy when I got that car. Maybe not so happy anymore. Or I went on this vacation and I thought it was going to be the time of my life, but it wasn't. So if we are so darn bad at knowing what makes us happy, how do we achieve happiness? So as interesting as that question is, what if it isn't even the right question? What if it isn't even the right question? So Monica C. Parker, an author of the book The Power of Wonder, the extraordinary emotion that will change the way you live, learn, and lead, writes, what if we're so fixated on happiness that we've failed to question whether happiness is what should be our primary pursuit? What if, after centuries of debating the benefits of various types of happiness, we could focus on another, more enduring, more impactful emotion that will bring us both happiness and other significant benefits? So something that brings us happiness and other stuff. Simply put, it feels like we are on a racetrack chasing the wrong rabbit. Parker argues that a better rabbit to chase than happiness is wonder. Wonder, awe, amazement. So why embrace wonder? So bear with me to understand why we need a quick tutorial on emotions. Wonder is a universal emotion just as valid as happiness. Wonder is the experience that makes us feel like a small part of a bigger system, which can make our problem seem smaller too. Wonder is the feeling I experienced when I was looking for that calf on our farm. Psychologists define emotions such as happiness as positively valenced, positive emotions, and emotions such as sadness as negatively valenced, negative emotions. But there are other emotions like bittersweetness, sympathy, nostalgia, and wonder, and those are mixed or duly valenced emotions. Our emotions sit on a continuum from simple to complex. The world, the people in it, and our experiences are not binary or easily defined. Two things can exist in opposition to each other, and both can be true at the same time. We tend to seek the comfort of simple positive emotions, such as happiness, rather than sit in the discomfort of negative or mixed emotions. However, if we resist negative and mixed emotions at our peril. A psychologist by the name of Kirk Snyder says, happiness can sometimes, not always, but sometimes be a potential fool's gold. That we can get pushed into this mantra of we need to think positively. And we need to think positively all the time, even when what we're experiencing is not positive. It's kind of, what does he call it? He calls it a positive complex compulsion. And he says that our inability to think about or to feel our negative emotions and our inability to feel our complex emotion actually blocks us from experiencing the wonder and amazement of life. Other psychologists say we cannot selectively feel our emotions without dulling our ability to experience all our emotions. In other words, if you want to feel joy, you must feel sadness. If you want to experience peace, you need to experience anxiety. And if we want to know the source of our love, we also need to know the source of our fear. We need to know the source of our fear. If we try to desensitize ourselves to all these mixed and negative feelings, we just kind of anesthetize ourselves from life. And we never experience the full spectrum of our emotions, nor the fullness of our life. When I was a hospital chaplain, I ministered to a family of a 15-year-old boy who was killed in a stupid, senseless shooting. I escorted the boy's aunt into the emergency room to see his body. As we both stood silently next to him, I saw a large tear form on the inside of one of her eyes. As a chaplain, we are trained to watch for tears because they are signs of a strong emotional and spiritual response. People cry for many different reasons: sadness, stress, or even joy. I felt all of those emotions in that moment, not joy, I won't say that, but sadness and grief. But I was also filled with a bit of awe. And the awe was that this tear that this aunt had was the largest tear I had ever seen. It was so full and plump and big. And I watched it cascade down her shiny apple cheek. And as it reached the end of her cheek, the tear moved upwards. And almost like a long-distance skier, it kind of jumped off her cheek and landed on her blouse. And when it landed on her blouse, it burst in what looked like 1,000,000 different pieces. Her tear was filled with pain and anguish over the loss of her nephew, but also it was filled with deep felt love and affection. As one of my seminary friends said, life is not only bittersweet, it is sweet bitter. Author Susan Cain describes mixed emotions as being some of the most sublime aspects of being human that can help us appreciate the impermanence and fragility of life. Wonder embraces life's beautiful and messy complexity in a way happiness doesn't. It allows for nuance and depth. It allows for the reality of both the sacred and the profane. Consider celebrating an anniversary. So it's natural to be happy. I hope it's happy. To be reflecting on that accomplishment. Pleased to have been together as a couple. But what if we took a little risk here? What if we were to view that experience through a wonder lens? reflecting in a curious way on the challenges of that relationship, the mistakes we made, our regrets, and center on the impermanence of that relationship, and that one day that relationship, for every one of us, will end. That experience becomes not only richer, but an opportunity for greater personal growth. Embracing mixed emotions not only adds to the richness of the human experience, it builds a greater variety of coping skills. You're going to cope better if you can experience the broadest range of emotion. Research shows that people with greater emotional diversity have more positive coping mechanisms and recover more quickly from stress. Under stress, we kind of default to simple emotions like sadness or happy, depending on what stress, where we want to go, instead of embracing the whole experience through wonder. But if we can embrace mixed emotions, we become more resilient. In essence, by holding both positive and negative thoughts in our minds simultaneously, we metabolize, integrate these experiences, even the traumatic ones, and we're better able to make meaning out of them instead of splitting them off from our person and never realizing them. In one study of bereaved spouses, widows and widowers who recalled both positive and negative elements of their deceased spouses were better able to manage their grief. Researchers have found a link between wonder and lower blood pressure, lower stress, and decreased inflammation that can cause heart disease and cancer. Wonder makes us more creative and more desirous of studying the world around us. It makes us humble, less materialistic, more generous, and better community members. Wonder-prone people are more likely to perform better in school, work, and in their relationships. A very pro-social emotional experience, wonder simply makes us want to be better and more tolerant people. So what is the meaning of life? Is it to seek positive emotions like happiness? Yes, part of that is. Happiness is wonderful. We cannot live without happiness. I would ask you today to also move beyond happiness. Happiness keeps us in a one-dimensional world. And we can't really experience the complexity and diversity of our life if we don't include other emotions like wonder. Better for us to seek wonder, which allows us to experience the kaleidoscope of the human experience, allowing us to enjoy life's, not just the meaning of life, but the many meanings of life. Blessed be, and may it be so.
As we take time to reflect on Roger's powerful words and our music, let's also take time to show our gratitude for this community and all that it does. The morning's offering will be gratefully received. If you're watching this service on Facebook, Live, or YouTube, please consider sending a contribution today. The information that you need in order to donate is on the screen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, What a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
First of all, here's Dina Sewell to discuss the ballot initiative.
I'm very proud to tell you that we are now officially approved as a hub for the ballot initiative, essentially for our right to decide over our own bodies, not the governor's decision. Several of us took the training last week, which you have to have in order to be a hub. So Janet Hoffman will chair this. She's out somewhere looking at butterflies this morning, so I'm in her stead. What we're asking is that people we have to be open 2 hours a week to be a hub. And that means we will have all the petitions here if people want to sign or take with them and share. These petitions can be brought back here. We will gather them once a week, submit them to this address in Palm Beach. As someone said, this is a marathon, and we are learning as we go. What we're going to do today is, my husband will be at the door for people who want to sign the petitions. We have someone out on the pavilion who is also giving out petitions. And I will roam around with a list asking people to volunteer. And I also want to thank Anna and Diane in the office for including this in the email blasts. We will learn a lot as we go. But right now, I'm very proud to be a UU. Thank you.
Also, the exhibit of Lino Nezda's copper sculpture continues in the Menaker foyer. The exhibit has been augmented with some additional pieces, so there's reason to check it out again. And one of the additional pieces is out on the grass. So it's important that you go out on the grass and look at that piece. Today, after the service, there will be a reception, an art reception for those, and that will be from 11 till 1 o'clock. We have a drumming circle this afternoon as well, and that's at 4 o'clock. The drumming circles have been a great success, and our drum leader, Isaac Fernandez, makes it both easy and enjoyable to create some wonderful rhythms together. Again, check out the news blasts for more information. Now, let's rise as you are willing and able, and join in singing our closing hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Number 6 in the gray hymnal, and the words will also be on the screen.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
May the Spirit of life bless you and keep you. May it shine its face upon you and be gracious unto you. May its countenance be shown to you, and may it give you rest, peace, and of course, wonder.